Welcome to the 2022 NFL season. The Texans are 2-0 against the Indianapolis Colts in Week 1, hoping to make it 3-0 under Lovie Smith. Running back Dameon Pierce, the Texans' fourth-round pick. He'll make his first NFL start after an impressive preseason, averaging 7.8 yards per carry and scoring a touchdown. On defense, Derek Stingley Jr. and Jalen Petrie will be starting in the secondary. Will it be enough to face a Colts team that returns with a new veteran quarterback in Matt Ryan and all-pro rusher in Jonathan Taylor? We will get into the top stories of the week. Plus, we've got an exclusive one-on-one with Davis Mills on the matchup. Texans Unlimited, presented by Verizon, starts now.
Welcome to our coverage of Houston Texans football.
Need some juice, need some energy, and just do your job.
Let's go, Texans!
Let's go!
Welcome into Texans Unlimited Live, presented by Verizon. Oh my gosh, it's finally here. Week 1. The 2022 NFL regular season gets underway. The Texans are here at home hosting the Indianapolis Colts. They want to right some wrongs from 2021, and it has been a really long offseason.
Too long.
Welcome in to my good friend Drew Doherty. We are so excited to have you back for more Texans football, and what a preseason, 3-0.
Yeah.
Texans hope to build on it. They've got a lot of new rookies to get excited about. Lovie Smith, a lot to get excited about under him. But, Drew, what excites you most about today's game?
Dameon Pierce.
Okay.
The rookie. I mean, the rookie running back was awesome. You talked about going 3-0 in the preseason, and a lot of times you just go, okay, but we saw some really promising stuff from the rookie running back. There has never been that level of excitement for a new running back that I can remember, because Arian Foster, when he was a rookie, he was put on the practice squad pretty much immediately as the cuts were made. So he had a slow burn, but Dameon Pierce came on like a ton of bricks, almost literally. You know, he runs with violence, and he's really exciting. He's been named a starter. We haven't heard that type of thing happen around here in quite some time. Rookies were almost pariahs, and that's not the case here anymore, because he's going to start. Derek Stingley's going to start. Jalen Petrie's going to start. Eventually, we're going to see Kenyon Green, Christian Harris, when they get all the way healthy, start as well. So I'm pumped about the youth, but mostly I'm pumped about the promise of this run game.
Ooh, I like it. You know what? Before this show, Drew and I, we sit next to each other in the office, and I was telling him about a little fun fact. The Colts have dropped 8 straight in Week 1.
And
so
in my cheesy announcer voice, I said, let's make it a fine 9.
All right, you mentioned running backs for the Texans. The Colts have one as well on the other side of the ball. Let's get into some of your quick hits presented by BMW. Well, Lovie Smith and the Texans remember all too well what happened last year. Jonathan Taylor rushed for 288 yards and 4 touchdowns in just 2 games against this Texans team. Lovie Smith says a win today is going to have to go through stopping the run, and that means stopping Jonathan Taylor.
Well, we have to stop the run each week, no matter who we're playing. Every NFL team is going to have 1 of 32. That's saying an awful lot if you're the starting running back for an NFL team. And for us, Jonathan Taylor is one of the best in the league, kind of simple as that. And so we know the challenge that it faced. But what is it going to take? Gang tackle. We need everybody at the point of attack. Discipline in your gaps. Because if he breaks it, he's faster than most people too. So it'll be a big challenge. We're going to have big challenges each week. The challenge for us is to compete with them, because we didn't last year. They dominated us last year. So we got to show up this year.
Davis Mills is no longer a rookie. He enters his second season. This will be the third time he faces the Colts. He started one game, came in relief in the other one. It is now the third time he's going to face this Colts team, but it'll be a new defense led by defensive coordinator Gus Bradley, and it's actually a new offense for the Texans as well. And Davis Mills says he's really excited to show off what Pep Hamilton and them have been cooking up behind the scenes.
It's awesome. I mean, different than last year, where I didn't know really what was going to happen at this point last year, but coming in, having a whole offseason to prepare, whole camp, even the practices leading up to this week. It's a great feeling, and I'm excited to go out there and attack it this weekend.
And wide receiver Brandon Cooks, he was named team captain earlier this week. We did not see any of Brandon Cooks in the preseason. He'll be out here today. He was watching all these rookies, though, from the sidelines in the preseason, and a little bit of advice for them.
one of the things I told a lot of the rookies, especially the ones that obviously being able to contribute right away is, you're here for a reason. They come from really championship programs, a lot of them. So bring that winning mentality. No matter how young you are, at the end of the day, they know.
Colts inactives because it's the regular season. So who's in, who's out? Drew Doherty is going to give us the latest.
I think the biggest one for the Texans is clearly the name at the top of that list. Kyle Allen is the backup quarterback. So the natural question is, well, who's now the backup quarterback? Well, it's going to be Jeff Driscoll. He was pulled up yesterday from the practice squad, so that's the guy to watch if something were to happen to Davis Mills. Don't want anything to happen to anyone, especially the quarterback. But then you see Tyler Johnson, the wide receiver who was added late last week, and he is not going to be able to go today. But O.J. Howard, the tight end who was signed on the same day, he's going to be active today, so that's a cool thing. Garrett Wallow, Jake Hansen, the linebackers won't make it. And then you see Rasheem Green. He was a signing in free agency this offseason. He was second on the Seahawks in sacks last year. Can play a lot of different positions on the defensive line. Not a go today. That's a little bit of a disappointment. And you also remember Mario Addison was put on injured reserve late Friday. So they're without a few edge guys, a few guys on the defensive line, and Rasheem Green and him, and Addison that won't be able to go. And then as far as the Colts go, the biggest one, clearly Shaquille Leonard. And some of you might scratch your heads and say, what? Well, if you're like me, you missed it in the offseason. He changed his name from Darius Leonard. That's one of the guys who has absolutely crushed the Texans over the last 4 or 5 years. He averages almost double-digit tackles every time he takes the field against the Texans. He's punching the ball loose. He's had a pick here and there. He is a problem, but his back is just not up to snuff, so he's not going to play today. And then Sam Ellinger, the former Texas quarterback, former Longhorn, is inactive as well. Matt Ryan is the starter at QB for the Colts. Big upgrade, I think, over Carson Wentz. Not I think, he is. And Texans going to have their hands full with him, including number one there, Tremon Smith, who is going to return kickoffs and maybe a punt or two if Desmond King is not the guy. But Tremon Smith and company going to have their hands full today.
Special teams, that's where it's at. Frank Ross, he was with special teams in Indianapolis.
Yes,
looking forward to that matchup as well. There's Desmond King as well on the field, and as the players are coming out, warming up, we'll see some of the DBs hopefully there in a minute too. But let's get into some of your fan questions presented by Daikin. Let us know where you're asking your questions from. We'd love to give people shout-outs.
So we got guys from London, Tommy in Southwest Houston, Ricky and Tacho in Corpus, and then Christian, our good pal, is chiming in from Germany. Christian, hope you're doing great. And first one is, will O.J. Howard play today? That's coming from Logan. Hey, he's active, DP. I imagine we will probably see him. If he wasn't ready, they wouldn't have activated him. So, yes, don't know how much, but yes, he's probably going to be a go. He's a veteran. He's a veteran tight end, and this team traded for a guy, Adam Shaheen, from Miami, and that trade got nullified because Shaheen couldn't pass a physical. So Davis Mills, as you see there, he's going to have O.J. Howard in the mix as a guy to throw to, DP.
He is big. He's about the size of Pharaoh Brown, and he's got the pass-catching skills as well. And you mentioned it. He's a veteran. He's got a Super Bowl ring with Tom Brady, played with the Bucs. Showed up here about a little over a week ago. And while he hasn't learned the entire playbook, they got ready for week one. So some of the new players that him and Tyler Johnson that showed up here last week, they were in the team meetings. It's a good sign that O.J. Howard is active. That means that they like what they saw in practice. Lovie Smith said that, it's just going to depend on how the week goes. But with a veteran like him, hopefully he has a few catches today. So let's see what he can do. Javari in Miami wants to know which running back will get the majority of carries. Javari, everyone is hoping to see Dameon Pierce. We talked about it, 7.8 yards per carry average. He had a touchdown on the opening drive in that second preseason game or the third preseason game. We cannot wait to see what he's able to do. It's his first NFL game. It's his first NFL start. So just a little bit of pressure there.
He's going to get unless something weird happens, he's going to be the guy getting the rock when they hand it off. And you can bet they're going to try and feed him early and often. Lovie Smith has said it. Pep Hamilton has said it. They all have said it. The Texans want to be able to run the ball effectively. They couldn't the last 2 years. They were not good at it, and that's got to change. They got to get at least a yard better per carry because they were at 3.4 per in 2021. So that's just not going to fly, and that's not anything that has to do with what Lovie Smith wants this team to look like. He wants to be able to run the ball, shorten the game, and score a lot of points.
Yeah, and, Dameon Harris, he is young. He's got a fresh set of legs, so I don't see why they wouldn't give him the majority of carries. They've got Rex Burkhead in the backfield as his backup, but I think it's Harris, and I don't know, maybe you're wanting to know from a fantasy football standpoint. Those are, yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah,
yes,
Damian
yes,
Pierce.
yes. It's going to be Damian Pierce. Sorry, not Damian
He'll
Harris.
definitely be the guy.
Damian Pierce
carries.
is going to be your starting running back, majority of carries. I'm very curious to see what he's able to do here in his first NFL start. Lucci, I hope I'm saying that right, in spring wants to know, do we have what it takes to win today? Lucci, Lovie Smith certainly hopes so. They spent this entire offseason trying to get better. They drafted some young players. And to Lovie Smith's credit, if a guy's ready to play, he's not going to worry about if they're a rookie or what stage in their career. He's just going to put the best players out on the field today. So they hope that they've been able to fix and remedy some of the issues that they had last year, stopping the run, running the ball. You've got Davis Mills in his second year. He's not a rookie anymore. So, they think that they've put all the pieces together. And the Colts are relatively new, too. I mean, as far as Matt Ryan, he's a veteran quarterback, but they haven't really played with him yet. So I think it's good to get them early, sort of see what both of these teams are all about.
Yeah, Lucci, the Texans certainly can win. This is a better team than last year. It's a better roster. There's more talent. You have, I think, an upgrade in coaching. I think there's a lot more going in your favor. Now, are they going to win? Of course, we can't say that for sure. You never know. I mean, this is the NFL. Anything can happen. They're facing an excellent team, but sure, the Texans can absolutely win today. Yes. Get excited.
We're just a little bit biased, so, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, of course we're going to say they can win. Taylor wants to know, what do you expect from Pep Hamilton's offense? Well, everyone thought this was going to be a running team, and Pep Hamilton came out this week and said, I never said we were a run-first team. I said we're a score-first team. So I think that we are going to see a lot of fun misdirections and a lot of new plays that we haven't seen before, because they didn't really show a lot in the preseason, and Pep Hamilton does not like us calling it a vanilla offense in the preseason, but I mean, it is what it is, Drew. We didn't really see a whole lot in the preseason. So Davis Mills has talked about it too. What we saw in the preseason is just a portion of the overall playbook. They can't wait to sort of unpack it all, and I think we're going to see a lot of creativity. I think we're going to see some running plays. I think we're going to see plays that don't normally get called in situations that they've been called in the past. So I'm expecting more from the tight ends. I'm expecting a big game from Brandon Cooks. I'm expecting a big game from Nico Collins, and I'm expecting them to score early. I know the team has really struggled early on opening drives, but I expect that to change.
Yeah, and, as you're going to see in this interview here in a second from Davis Mills, he gets excited when he talks about what the offense is going to look like and how it's going to be different. Okay, so we'll hear from Davis Mills in just a bit, but we want to shout out some folks chiming in from all over the world. We got Ryan in Russia. We got Curtis in Nashville. Logan's here in Indiana. Shay, AE, in Alabama. And then Donnie is coming in from Maine. So, yeah, we've got a lot of fun folks from all over. And pretty soon, you're going to hear from Davis Mills, a little one-on-one interview I did with him. The Texans are playing real football, regular season football. So it's time to talk with the man in charge, under center, Davis Mills. It's great to be with you again. And we did this about a year ago. One thing I've always noticed about you, supremely confident. Doesn't matter what's going on around you, calm, and confident. How much more confident are you now, though, versus this time a year ago?
I mean, I don't think the confidence level has changed much. I think the comfortability of being out there and being in control of everything is what has changed. Building that experience from last year and going out there and really putting that successful stint together at the end of the year. Obviously, the outcome of it, each game wasn't what we wanted, but I felt like I was going out there and playing good football, protecting the football. And I think the biggest thing this year is just carrying on that momentum from last year and what we've put together all off-season and throughout camp. So I think the comfort level and just being in control of everything is the biggest thing that I've noticed.
It's a good distinction you make, comfort versus confidence. So with the comfort idea in line, how much more comfortable did it make it for you being involved in February and March and April and helping install this offense with Pep Hamilton? Because it's a different offense than what you were doing last year. And how much did that help with what you're doing and what you're seeing right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great having a whole off season to learn it. Obviously, last year you get drafted and you only have like a weekend throughout OTAs and then in camp. So having a full off season to prepare, and even what Pep's done is similar to what I ran in college. So some of the verbiage and carryover of some of the scheme is similar. So I already have a little bit of idea of coming into it of what it's been like. So, I mean, we're really excited. I feel like
the whole team's really bought into what we're capable of on offense. And, I mean, everyone's really excited to go out there and put up some points and see what we can do on Sunday.
Yeah, and how much does that excitement level raise after seeing what you're able to do in the preseason without your whole offensive line, without Brandon Cooks and Pharaoh Brown? Everybody's back and everybody's ready to go. And on top of all that, the playbook opens up a little bit even more, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're probably most excited for. Obviously, the stuff in preseason is a little vanilla. They're not trying to show too much because people are watching film and game planning against you, so you can't tip your hand too early. But I think everyone's really excited what we're able to do this year. And, I mean, we're ready to just go out there and play fast.
You got bonds with all your receivers. There's been growth with all your pass catchers and whatnot. But what's the bond like with Brandon Cooks? You were both named on Wednesday captains for the offense. What's it like throwing the ball to him and just being a teammate of his and what he means to you?
Brandon's been great. Obviously, same type of energy each and every day. He's coming in ready to get to work and lead those guys around him. And I try to do the same. But, I mean, when you know you have Brandon out on the edge going against somebody, I mean, I don't know. I for sure couldn't cover him, and I know pretty much all the DBs across the league can't cover him either. So when you have somebody like that on your side, it's awesome.
The guy just cranks out 1,000-yard receiving seasons, and he's been doing it for a while. A guy who's new to the league is Dameon Pierce. What could a run game with that guy do for you, do for this offense, do for this whole team?
He can do a lot. I think when we can establish a really strong run game, it can change the momentum of everything. I think the best game we ran the football last year was the Chargers game, and at the time last year they were a playoff team, and that game we moved the ball very efficiently, and I think Rex ran for 150. So when we can do that and establish a run game, it opens up everything across the board on the offense. So we're really excited to see what he can contribute and do out there.
All right, Texans want to be a tough team. They want to be a rugged team. They want to be able to run the ball like all teams in the NFL. To do that on Sunday, going to go against some of the best interior defensive linemen you're going to face all season long. How tough are they? How much of a challenge are those guys in the middle in DeForest Buckner and in Grover Stewart?
They're, I mean, great players. Obviously, we got to respect them a ton, but I think we're really capable on offense of handling them. Our offensive line right now has done an amazing job all camp and throughout the preseason. I mean, I think our guys can line up against anybody and we can be confident. So if we can run the football well on Sunday, I think we got a really good chance.
Difference makers in the linebacking core and Shaquille Leonard. Darius Leonard is his former name. You also got Stephon Gilmore, one of the best to ever play at corner. There's a lot of pieces on that defense for the Colts, but it's like you guys are saying, got to do our job, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to game plan and know who you're playing against to some extent, but when it boils down to it, it's about what we do on offense and how well we execute. And I mean, that's what's going to go out and win games.
All right, we started this interview talking about your confidence. When game time rolls around, however, will there be just a little bit of a butterfly, a little flutter here and there?
Yes. I've never been one to get super nervous, but I mean, I think when you get those butterflies before the game, you have to, or else it doesn't mean anything to you. So there'll be a little bit of jitters, but once we get a couple plays into it, it'll be smooth sailing and we'll be ready to go.
All right, Davis Mills, best of luck. Show up, show out for H-Town and beyond. Can't wait to see you out there in just a bit.
For sure. Thank you.
There he is, Davis Mills, warming up live before this Week 1 opener against the Indianapolis Colts in his 6 home starts. Davis Mills has thrown 12 touchdowns, 1 interception for 113.5 passer rating. He aims for his 3rd game in a row versus a division rival with 2+ touchdown passes and a 90+ passer rating. There he is, Davis Mills. He's part of today's starting lineup. So let's show you the rest of the starting lineups. We're going to start off with the offense. Davis Mills obviously at quarterback, the rookie running back, Dameon Pierce at running back, and then a fullback. That's a little bit of a new graphic. Troy Hairston is going to be the starting fullback.
Undrafted rookie. Yeah.
Undrafted rookie as well. Switch from a linebacker to a fullback, and then you've got Brandon Cooks, Nico Collins there as wide receivers. Pharaoh Brown, a veteran tight end.
It's our first look at him since last year.
First look at him. First look at also our tackles, Laramie Tunsil, Titus Howard, and center Justin Britt. And then you've got Justin McCray at left guard, A.J. Can at right guard. Drew, give us the defensive starters.
Well, a lot of familiar faces over there. Jonathan Grenard is back. He led this team with 8 sacks last year, looking for that number to rise. But if you listen to him, his main goal is just playing 17 games. So good stuff will happen if that happens. In between he and Jerry Hughes, you got Roy Lopez and Malik Collins. And then the linebacking core is Grugier Hill, Kirksey, Neville Hewitt. Kirksey and Jerry Hughes, of course, our captains. And then look at that secondary. Holy moly. That's a totally new
Revamped.
secondary, from last year at this time. Stingley and Petrie, the rookies, and then Nelson and Owens are your others in the back four.
Cannot wait to see that. Totally brand new secondary, totally revamped secondary. That, you saw the little asterisk. It is based on the unofficial team depth chart.
Right.
So, if the guys coming out and lining up are different, well, these are just our best guess at today's starting lineup. All right, so.
Because there were shenanigans last year, but there don't look to be any shenanigans today.
Drew didn't like a starting fullback on the depth chart, but this
Was that
year,
what it was last year?
Was it a fullback? But this year there is a starting fullback because we know Lovie Smith does want a fullback.
Some sort of weird. Yeah, I can't even remember what.
It was a couple of running backs.
Yeah.
Anyways, Drew had issues last year, but you know what? I think we're getting closer and closer every single year. All right, there he is, Justin Britt warming up. Some of the other players warming up, and let's get to your sleeper of the game presented by Mattress Firm as we look at these players warming up. Drew, I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going to go Nico Collins.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Because, even though we expect a big game from Brandon Cooks, I think Nico Collins has had a really, really good camp in preseason. I think there's going to be a lot of attention on Brandon Cooks because on the opposite side of the ball, Stephon Gilmore, signed by the Colts, a guy that you may have heard of from his many, many years with the Patriots. He'll be on the opposing side of the ball. Cooks is going to get a lot of attention. I think that may open up things for Nico Collins, and he's got a great chemistry with Davis Mills. So he is my sleeper of the game.
Great choice. As you see, Nico Collins, number 12 there. I'm going to go on the other side, and I'm going to go with Philip Dorsett. You just saw him a moment ago, number 4.
Ooh, that's a good one as well.
He had a nice preseason. He can get deep. His speed is a problem for opposing defenses, and it was a problem in the preseason. And now, as you see Dorsett there, now you got Brandon Cooks. You got to worry about him. You got to worry about Collins like you're talking about, and I think Pharaoh Brown, I think he can do some nice things, as well as Brevin Jordan. So there's lots of options in the passing game. And, hey, you always want to play well against your former team. Dorsett was drafted in the first round by Indianapolis a while back. So, there's a little bit of extra motivation. Whether they say it or not, there is. It's your old team. You want to beat your old team. So,
well, if you want to beat your old team, many, many years ago, Jerry Hughes also played for the Colts.
Exactly,
so
yes. That's another good one.
as a sleeper. Although I don't think he's a sleeper. I think there's a high expectation for Jerry Hughes.
He was hanging out in the opposing offensive backfield that one game that he played in for the Niners, or against the Niners in the preseason. So, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, all right. So let's get to maybe one more question. All right. Who will be our playmakers on offense? Chop wants to know. Actually, I think we kind of answered that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Dameon Pierce, and I think we saw our sleepers, but I also expect a big game from Brandon Cooks. The O-line, though, I think a lot's going to rest on their shoulders. We have not seen the starting 5 together yet, so excited to see them. And
but number 31, the guy in the middle of your screen, there's a playmaker. I mean, he's got that green mouth guard. Dameon Pierce, look out for him. I mean, if he does what he did in the preseason, it's going to be a nice day for the Texans.
Yeah, and I think people want to know how many yards is he going to get.
Who knows?
Who knows? But I love the fact that his nickname is DP. So if you hear some DP chants out there, those are not for me. Those are for Dameon Pierce. All right. Well, if you want to catch the game, you can watch it on CBS. You can also listen on Sports Radio 610. And the Texans will be back at home, not next week or the week after, but in a few weeks after that. And tickets are still available. A few of them. You can go to HoustonTexans.com/tickets. We're going to leave you with these players warming up right now, and kickoff is underway in just about 35 minutes. So have yourselves a great game day. Thank you to everyone who worked on this show. Drew, thanks to you as well.
Thank you.
It's good to be back. Football is back. So are the Houston Texans. And have yourselves a great game day. And as always, go Texans.